Hey, what's up, Couch Potatoes? We are back today to talk Beetlejuice 2024, directed by Tim Burton. I didn't say it a third time. Now, guys, look, the original Beetlejuice movie I've seen 137 times, and it keeps getting better every time I see it. So, were we excited about this one? I think we had checked expectations. I'd heard good things. I'd heard really good things, and that was cool. That was encouraging. But whenever you do these legacy sequels years and years and years and years later, it's always a big question mark how it's going to turn out. But overall, how'd you feel about Beetlejuice?
I liked it. I did.
Okay.
It definitely had its issues, but nothing that took me out of the movie, nothing that ruined it for me. It was fun. Loved the first Beetlejuice. It's was our family spooky movie for the week, so the whole family got to watch and enjoy, and I was excited to see Beetlejuice come back on the screen. I was interested in what they were going to do with Lydia, and I was kind of hoping the Maitlands would come back.
Yeah.
I love me some Gina Davis. That's all, really, truly. But I was happy with what came. Like, was it everything I needed? No, but I was happy.
No, I say if like, okay, Star Wars sequels are down here and Cobra Kai's up here, it's somewhere around here.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere around here where
I put it a little
I don't feel like
closer,
it disrespected any of the legacy characters or anything like that, like Star Wars loves to do, but it doesn't feel like it's doing a really great passing of the torch or something like Cobra Kai does. It does a little bit. I like Jenna Ortega. I think Jenna Ortega is great in everything I've seen her in. I think she's really, really good. I was worried with her in this movie that she was just going to be playing Wednesday Addams, and I felt like they made sure they do. Like the one part when they were doing the dance part, I thought that she was actually going to start doing the Wednesday dance for a second there. But I liked seeing some of those returning characters. Obviously, some question marks about why they made some of the decisions that they did.
Yeah,
and I think really with me, just being not offensive was really all you had to do for me with this movie. Of course, I want to see Michael Keaton playing the Juice again. I mean, of course. Yeah. As much as it's like I thought that Flash movie wasn't that good, but it was cool to see him in the Batsuit again. I mean, it's just Michael Keaton's having his career renaissance this late his age. Good for him, and it's going back to some of these old stories. Tim Burton and Michael Keaton both said they would never do this movie unless they both were satisfied with the script. I got some issues with it, and we'll get into it. But again, overall, I wasn't offended by the movie. And again,
now
that's all
you have me
do.
wanting to watch Mr. Grandma instead of Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom?
Mr. Grandma.
Mr. Grandma. I'd watch it. Why not?
I would. I liked Mr. Mom.
So what did you like about Beetlejuice?
I did like how they brought in Lydia's character and had Jenna Ortega be her daughter. I was a little like... I thought they were supposed to be stepsisters at first. I wasn't clear who was her mom or alleged mother as her phone
good for
rang.
Winona Ryder and getting her hair like that again. Good for her.
I enjoyed Moira. I didn't know how much I'd enjoy her, but I did.
Delia, not Moira. That's
Delia.
Schitt's Creek.
I say yes, and now I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday, Schitt's Creek, Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Wait,
Joyce.
No.
Yeah.
they're all...
Yeah, my kid knows Winona Ryder as Joyce Byers, not really necessarily as Lydia, but it's, I think with just seeing some of these characters again, seeing some of those familiar locations again, like at the beginning, it's almost playing that music exactly the same, but it's a little slower. It's pretty cool. Get you right in there into the model and all that stuff. So. Nice fucking model, they might say.
Yeah.
But cool. You got the nostalgia stuff, but I never feel like it does that cardinal sin that a lot of these movies do, where it's like, hey, remember that one part you liked?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that again. It never really does that, but it doesn't shy away from some of the nostalgia.
But I would say it definitely drops your Easter eggs if you're looking at the girls' school. Yes, but if you're looking at the girls' school,
found it at a garage sale, and I actually fell for that. Can you believe that shit?
Oh, I didn't. I knew. The sculpture at the girls' school. So they're there if you're looking for them.
Again, with this, anytime you're seeing Michael Keaton play this character, I'm going to be there. And people have been like, oh, well, that Beetlejuice is only in the movie like 15 minutes. Like, he's only in the first one for like 15 minutes. It's just when he's there, you remember those things. I gotta say, Bob. Bob was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
So fun.
I never thought about it because you think about where the original ends with him getting the shrunken head and he's sitting next to Bob. So it's actually putting them into the character. I got a foot cramp. Ow, shit. Keep going.
No, very much enjoyed Bob. He was the show stealer, and from all the other extra characters that were in this movie,
we'll
better
get,
or worse.
We'll get into that. But
or for nothing.
with this, it's like some of the characters that returned, some didn't. I have no idea why they made the decision that they made with Charles. I've heard things about the gentleman who played Charles that there was a reason he wasn't invited back. I just would have preferred they just kind of wrote that character out because I thought it was a really, really dumb subplot.
Yeah.
And let's finish talking about what we like first before we get into that. Is there anything else you really liked? I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack.
Yeah.
Was it still Oingo Boingo doing it? Danny Elfman?
Oh, I don't. Yes.
It had to be, right? If not, it was just like someone just remixing it or something. I liked a lot of the music choices that they make in the movie. They're pretty fun. But for me, it's just my gripes are really more about the script than they are with any of the returning characters. I think, and we can kind of get. I feel like a lot of the stuff could have been excised out, honestly.
And that's where I'm like, not so much the script, but the new characters or the useless characters.
And I'll be honest, I'm usually there for the weirdisms that Tim Burton put into it. And I think he was actually felt a little reserved this go around. I think a lot of places where he would have never used a human for that part, in some of his previous movies. So I actually think that some of the underworld stuff was much better. I love Soul Train. Soul Train was so fun.
Yeah.
I grew up remembering seeing Soul Train on TV. So that was a fun throwback, I think. So it would have some things in there, I think, for, our generation as well as some things for some new folks. So let's get into what you didn't like. For me, there's way too many characters that I don't care about. And you spend way too much time on those characters, and they have no real resolution to the story. They're just like, so do we just need a body count? I don't really understand. Like, I get why they did the one with the boy in the treehouse. I get that. Oh, yeah. Actually, that was a nice twist.
I liked that.
I thought that one was fine.
I think if you'd have cut some of the other characters,
Monica Bellucci's character, and I've heard anything I've heard today is like, well, I'm never, because I've been saying that, like, you could have cut Monica Bellucci's character out of this movie and it doesn't really change anything. They'd be like, well, that's a new problem. You never got a problem with Monica. Yes, she's beautiful. It doesn't change the fact that the movie she doesn't make sense in the movie. You could cut her out. She was just there to be worm food? Really? Is that almost? I don't really understand. That William Dafoe's character could have been gone. Justin Theroux's character could have been gone. I don't need all these characters. I've got my main three. That's all I really needed. Was
I actually wish the ex-husband who got eaten in the Amazon River, I wish he got more time. Yeah. And the boy in the treehouse, he got more time. And yeah, you could have gotten rid of those other.
And I love The Leftovers. I think that Justin Theroux is an amazing actor. I have no idea why they cast him to play that part. It just felt so out of place.
I guess she was supposed to show her get her spine, but.
I mean, I understand, and he's not the worst part. Like, for me, it was like, take out Willem Dafoe, take out Nightmare Before Christmas or whatever her name was. I didn't even catch her name.
I don't remember either. Also, Soul
Sucker?
Yeah, the weird backstory was a.
Why did they dub that in another language?
Voiceover?
I don't think it was Spanish, was it? Spanish.
I think it is.
Was it Spanish? Yeah. It was a weird choice. Was Michael Keaton
Italian?
sick that day or something? What was that? My kid theorized that he was saying it in Bob's language, so Bob would understand because he was telling Bob the story. Also, I didn't need a full musical number at the end. It's like, I like that song, but I was like, give me a verse, give me a chorus. I don't need the whole song.
It could have been cut down to a third.
Honestly, for me, the biggest letdown of this, though, is I felt like Michael Keaton was a little low energy. Now, I know he's not as young as he used to be. I'm not either. I can get up for maybe the 10 minutes of screen time that he had in this movie. My biggest complaint is I feel like the movie had too much focus off of Beetlejuice. Like, even when they're in the underworld where you think this is where Beetlejuice is going to thrive, he's basically a cameo that stamps a book that says shit out of luck, which was a funny scene. It's a funny scene.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, I know they didn't use him very much in that first movie, but when he was there, you remember because he was just electric. On this, I didn't feel like he was really bringing the juice, so to speak. I don't know.
I do. I'm actually kind of like going over my head, and the scenes that stand out the most to me are the Bob scenes and the Bob's scenes.
Yeah, so I think Bob kind of stole the movie. And Danny DeVito. Hey,
that was really fun.
Penguin reunion with Tim Burton. Good for him. So it's funny. It was like before it showed his face. It's like, that sounds like Jersey Mike's. I was like, oh shit, it is him.
Maybe this was like several ideas for a spinoff, and they were like, well, we'll just combine them all together and make one good one. And instead, it just made one. I enjoyed the movie, but a lot of these characters and storylines didn't really.
It felt like several MacGuffins, too many MacGuffins. Yeah. Too many MacGuffins. Like, okay, you need the boy to get her down to the underworld. I get that, and explain this. I get that. That's cool. I would have kept that one. I liked
Yeah.
that one. It was a nice twist. I really appreciated it. Once she pointed it out, I was like, of course, it's glaringly obvious what's going on. Because
literally.
when she said that, I was like, well, then how would her mom have said, duh, she can see ghosts, moron?
But literally, when he slips off that, or she was slipping off that ladder, I was like, DED.
No,
DED.
no, and even this, but I was like, oh, well, Otho kind of found. Is it the same one that Otho had? Maybe it just got put at the yard sale. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so I don't know.
But yeah, a lot of those characters just
Willem Dafoe could have gone, and I love these actors. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and then they didn't do anything bad. They weren't
Willem
bad.
Dafoe's
They just weren't
never
necessary.
bad. He's an amazing actor, but I was like, I didn't need his character. I didn't need Monica Bellucci's character, and I didn't need Justin Theroux's character really, at least not as much as I got.
Right.
So for me, it was just like the complaint, and then of course, I
would have rather had more time with the boy in the treehouse or Amazon and Piranha Chomped father.
Don't do drugs, okay? So don't take this seriously. But oh my God, why couldn't they just give Michael Keaton, just take his little line of blow and get the energy back? Because I felt like when he was on the screen, he was not the spastic, just force of nature that he was in the original. I know he's 30 years older than he was back then. That's okay. I am too. But like I said, for the 10 minutes of screen time he has, I feel like he could have really brought the thunder. And I just think it was a script problem. I don't think it was a him problem.
So there was a minute there when I was like, oh, Treehouse Boy is DED. Mm-hmm. I was like, I wonder if he's supposed to be Beetlejuice's son. Because there was like a Beetlejuice offspring scene.
I'm laughing about the DED, guys. We know how to spell dead. That's from the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. D-E-D, dead. We just do that all the time at the house now. So in case you're wondering, yes, we know how to spell
That's
dead.
our code for dead.
I don't know. With that is, I understood that MacGuffin, you had to get them down the underworld. That was cool. So I do also just think it was really weird that it's just over just like that. But then the other ones
so
with the worm
they did the build up, and then once we were down there, he's just gone, and I was like, oh,
yeah. So
okay.
Several of those plots, it just felt like they didn't really have a point for them to being there because you could literally delete them from the movie, and I don't think a ton changes. You could have just had God, what was her name? What was Jenna Ortega's character's name?
Oh, I don't
know. I don't remember. She could have just found this and gotten to the underworld, So I feel like that there was definitely some bloat in the script that probably could have been cut down. Don't feel like the movie was overly long or anything like that, but I would rather seen more of like Lydia and Delia together and things like that than I would have just all these other characters.
Another thing that kind of left me where like, yes, I enjoyed the movie, but I don't know what I was supposed to get from that ending.
Me neither.
That was...
and I think clearly they want to do a part 3, which
maybe?
I guess would be Beetlejuice, home, home, home.
Home.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was really, really confusing to me what that ending was supposed to be saying. Okay, it was a dream. Okay, was it another dream?
It's a dream within a dream?
Or is she just seeing... Is it just? I mean, it's supposed to be like what all 80s horror movies were, where, hey, look, Freddy Krueger isn't actually dead. See, I think it was just that, that she's still seeing his ghost. I think maybe that's what they're trying to say. But it definitely felt like they were leaving it up for a sequel, and I hope they're not trying to say they're going to do Son of Beetlejuice because, oh my God.
I do feel like that was alluded to with so many little baby scenes.
Don't do Son of Beetlejuice and put I don't know.
Not whatever that was anyway.
I don't even know who they would get to play that. That would just You're just shooting yourself in the foot if you're trying to get someone besides Michael Keaton. It's just not gonna go over well. It's not going to go over well. But in the end, I wasn't miserable with the movie. Again, like I said, for me the bar was don't be embarrassing. Don't be insulting to the original. And I don't think it was. It doesn't feel like it's nothing I'm going to watch every Halloween or something like I do Beetlejuice, obviously. Yeah. And that's an unfair bar. That's one of the greatest movies of the 80s. So I wouldn't really expect that. But I'm saying right now, I don't even think I'd ever really watch it a second time. So for me, I think that's why I'd say I'd give it. Oh, we can't do that. I got to say, would you recommend it? Would you recommend this movie? I forgot that part. Would you recommend it?
If you were someone who loved Beetlejuice, I would recommend this movie. If you're someone who never heard of Beetlejuice, weren't interested, I'd tell you to go watch Beetlejuice. Yeah.
I think if you love the original and you just want to see these characters again, I'd recommend it to you. But I would say wait for streaming. That's what we did. We waited for digital. We didn't go see it at the theater. That's really more of a kid thing than it is anything else. But just it's on the rating scale. If it's go to the theater, wait for streaming, or burn the film. I wait for streaming. I think for sure. But again, I wasn't insulted by it. And that's why I say I'd give it a 3 stars. I think 3 stars and definitely a 1 pumpkin. Obviously, you don't watch a movie like this really for the scares.
You're right. I was going to say, I was debating with the 2-star. It's not, 2-star is bad. And it wasn't bad. It's a 3-star. It's a weak 3 stars. It's a dimly lit 3 stars, but it's 3. And yeah, I'd almost go no pumpkins. It's. I might go.
I say one because I did think to like spill your guts. That was probably like
yeah.
There was more gross outs than scares. I
was
think.
gonna say the baby ripping out of her for no apparent reason.
And the one where it was chewing on her leg was pretty gross
right,
too.
that one, yeah.
And Charles running around just sporting blood everywhere the whole
and the
movie.
weird everybody pulling the face like the Maitlands did into their phone for a selfie. That
was creeps. That's the part my youngest kid was asking about today. Like, why did you make them all go into their phones? And I was like, I think that was their commentary, Tim Burton's commentary, and saying that people can't watch a movie without their face in their phones. I really feel like that's what that was, and I agree with them. I agree with them there.
Say, are you sure it's his commentary?
That's the way I took. We talk about this with horror movies. People always want to take the allegory out of it that they want. That's what I took out of that. It's like people say, yeah, you just want to stick your face in your phone instead of watch the movie the whole time. So that's where we go. So guys, Beetlejuice, what did you think? Why don't you drop in the comments, guys, and let us know, and we will talk to you there.